What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Barrier Brigade. In this episode, we are going to talk about, in my mind, what is essential when you start rebuilding or just a whole new project vehicle. So let's get to the action. The first thing I do when starting a project is making sure that I have a designated space just for that project. And so that might be a workbench for a lot of your stuff. It might be a whole garage bay. In my case right now, it is a whole bed of a truck that is most likely going to get gutted out eventually, but it's holding trash, it's holding stuff that I might reuse, like the seats, the speaker box. It's going to go, but I might use it just for a little dimensional thing to kind of figure something else out. And I have a tote that, well, you can't even see it, it's underneath the other side. I still can't see it. It's under the other side of the bed that just has little baggies labeled, which brings me to my next point. Whenever I have a project, no matter what it is, I'm the person that works on projects for a while because I don't have the time to bang them out in a week or two, so it takes some time. Well, after a few months, you kind of start to forget which bolt went where. So I always start by going to the grocery store or Wally World or the good old Target, getting a couple Ziploc bags, sandwich size, snack size, just for bolts and nuts that or some little hardware that you may just forget. Get some painter's tape, get a Sharpie, or a box of Sharpies, so you can label up your bolts from your seats, bolts from your side view mirrors, little things like that if you just threw them all in a can, I mean, some people might have the skill, they might have the way to remember all that. I don't. I will admit that. I will be the first to admit that. I am not going to remember that a week from now if I put a bunch of bolts in a jar. So I get baggies, I label them, and I put them in a tote that's just for the vehicle that I'm working on. Then you might ask, what's with the painter's tape? Well, the painter's tape is for things like a wiring harness you might reuse, but you don't want to have to try to figure out which light goes where and which tail light key spot or headlight key spot or which plugs into which fuse, wherever it goes. I mean, realistically, it'll be pretty easy to figure out between these two. These two, you might have to go flip a light on and go see which one's the reverse light or which one's a turn signal or which one in the actual light itself goes where, because the actual brackets are the same. But all being serious, I mean, it makes it a lot faster. It might only save you 5 minutes, but 5 minutes 20 times in a vehicle is a whole hour already. Don't do the math. Adds up quick. I'm not saying you have to go nuts and label everything. I don't label all things. That's tailgate. It goes on the back of the truck. You should be able to read the Chevrolet when it's on there. But things like the side view mirrors, there's only 2 of. It's pretty easy to figure out. I've even taken silver Sharpies or painter's tape and a regular Sharpie again, just to label little holes. I don't have any labeled on here yet, but holes on the frame that might show this is where my shock was. This is where whatever it was goes, because I will forget that over time. And it just makes it that much easier when you go back later to put everything back together to know exactly what goes where. I'm not a mechanic. I don't do this every day, so I don't really know. I kind of just play with it as I go and figure it out. And that's what I enjoy. But those are the few key items that I think are essential when starting a project vehicle. Aside from not being in over your head. Stay within your comfort zone. Peace. Feel your heart race. Like, subscribe, follow along for the next one. We are going to get the inside of this truck cleaned out. That was not a good smiley face. Follow along for a better one.